Welcome back to the one and only Survivor broadcast, where I, your magnificent host, Gabriel Blythe, give a shout out to all my favorite survivors out there. And can I be honest with you? I feel like we've been doing this for some time now, and we've built a trust. When I pictured somebody doing a radio broadcast in the end times, in the apocalypse, whatever it was, I always picture this voice being very different. I thought if I heard those voices on the radio, it would be the soothing voices of Three Dog, or someone telling me that Battery City is under siege by the fabulous Killjoys. Not me. Not my voice. Though I know you would pick my voice, with all of its beautiful, dulcet tones. Heavenly. I know. I know everyone says that they hate the sound of their voice, but, well, to be honest, I did too when I first started this out, but it being the only voice that I heard for most of my entire day, if at all, I've changed, and now I found my voice sonorous to my ears. Some things, like me doing a word of the day calendar and being a nut for research and learning, never change. In the time we started this, there's been a lot of changes you and I have gone through. Specifically, I know what I have gone through. I don't know yours, but I've changed, that's for sure. We still don't know what caused the event, the end of the world. I mean, some people think they did it. Imagine you think so highly of yourself that you ended the world. I tease. That was cruel, and I don't like being cruel. I don't like the words I just said, and I can't take them back. They are out there, just... It's gross. Anyways, now we have learned more rules of the world at large. Maybe it's not necessarily that we've learned the rules, but we've been shown how big the board has really been this entire time. We've been playing Connect 4, while the privileged and the upper echelon of peoples were playing, I would say Monopoly, but that feels cliche. Apt, but still very cliche. What else? Magic is a thing. The Holy Grail was a thing. The king drinks from the Grail. Grail is stolen by Arcu's father, with the help of many other people in between, and ended up here in Utah in a military base that was secretly researching the ability to remove all of the diseases in the world, led by a person named Schuster. And Schuster, if you are hearing this, you are my kind of woman. Probably Arcu's, now that I think about it a little bit. However, what Schuster didn't know is that everything has a destiny. Especially the things that God, with a capital G, likes, or has touched, or is determined important. Those destinies can't be changed, or altered, and if they are misused, abused, or exploited, they will shatter. The object itself will shatter, which shatter doesn't feel like a strong enough word, but we'll make it work. Kind of brings up a lot of those theological questions, the morally ethical choices on God's behalf, when you think about it for like 2 seconds. Are we not important enough for God's plan? For his chosen destiny? You and I, that is? Well, when you think about it, I guess, depending on which religion you ask, I think that's kind of the point of the trial of free will. I know I've mentioned in the past that I'm more of a deist than not, specifically meaning that I believe that there is a God, but kind of started the chain reaction that caused the Big Bang, and then just let it be, walked away. And I know some of you have tuned out by now. I get it. Growing up in Utah, you get inundated with a lot of talk about religion, and it can be exhausting. Especially when someone's talking at you and not with you. But I'm going to continue because you aren't here to stop me, even though I've given you plenty of chances to do so, yeah. But I still don't know if any of it really makes sense to me. I can't see God allowing this to happen. Even if we are to suffer for our foibles against him and his plan, this is the punishment? All of this, everything around us is our punishment. The lack of survivors, the so few of us to make it through all of this, the others, the violent ones. All of this is punishment for not following his will. Childish, honestly. It's childish, if you ask me. Hear me out. I mean, once I kind of am saying it out loud, it sounds old hat, but just stick with me, okay? This guy is supposed to be all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-good. So if he is all-knowing, then he saw the Grail being moved. He also knew what the end goal was. That is what omniscience has to mean, right? Omniscience, meaning knowing of all things. But he didn't stop any of this? That tells me he's either not all-powerful, or if he is, that he's not all good. You still with me? You following me? But what if he is all-powerful, and he didn't know all of this was going to happen, or that the Grail was even being stolen? And then when he realizes what happens, he then curses the world and or raptures us by locking 99% of the population in our own minds. That's a child's tantrum. That is a tantrum at a birthday party because the 5-year-old who's a single child didn't get what he wanted. And when you start picking at those threads, it just kind of goes on for ages, you know? But like I said, I've made changes, and I don't go off on rants and poorly thought out philosophies of religions and religious leanings. So that's been on my brain lately. I am trying this new thing, cognitive behavioral training. I know, it's supposed to be a form of therapy and managed by a professional, but I don't know in the area, so we kind of have to train ourselves. Mostly it's just me sitting down and thinking and letting the intrusive thoughts kind of like in, and then acknowledging and analyzing them. And that's the thing about the thoughts, is that they're there. They're always there, and you can't stop them. But if you allow them to follow to the logical or natural conclusion, it, I don't know, kind of seems to help. And it's weird how that has already changed so much of my thinking. Just being somewhat aware of what I am thinking isn't determined on who I am, but it's the action, right? And then you kind of remove yourself from it all, and next thing you know, you feel better. It's hard to describe it, but to me, it's been a game changer. Don't get me wrong, the depression is still very, very loud. You don't go through so much time being alone and it not affecting you the way it has me. Some of those thoughts can be all-consuming, but I give myself the room to go through the thoughts, and that helps. Guy. Now it sounds like I'm turning this into our therapy session, making it all about me, as always. How are you doing?
I'm doing better. You good, buddy?
I swear to all of Arcu's gods, Xander, I will punch you in the face if you keep scaring me like this. We have the living dead walking around. Do you think it's good to surprise someone right now?
Bad. I don't know, it's just nice to hear you talking so casually. You could say I'm a bit nostalgic for your early days in your career.
Look at the hipster. I knew the band before they signed with the big label.
All I'm saying is their first album, so much better than their first album.
He's got jokes, folks. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm still tender. I feel like I've got some growing and thinking to do, maybe some cognitive behavioral therapy, but I'm adjusting.
An adjustment that seems to be going pretty quick, too, if I may be blunt.
RQ, when did you get here?
Well, when the queen is seldom wrong.
Yeah. I am almost 140 years old. I've had a lot of time to learn what emotions are what, how they affect me, and let me move through the pain a little more effectively. You lose friends a lot in this job. Lives in general a lot more frequently. You compartmentalize and learn your coping tools.
So you think locking yourself in here for a couple of weeks is an effective way of coping?
It's been a while since I've had to use those coping mechanisms. Plus, I'd like to see your whole point of view of the world change almost.
Too
soon?
A bit. Yeah. If anything, it feels hypocritical.
Probably more than a bit. Let's just say I'm rusty.
But trust me, I kind of get it. Like, it's amazing how quick I personally can revert to that sad version of myself.
But effective in getting me out of my funk. Made me feel hopeful as I was running around back in England before shipping off. Really, you are a beacon of hope.
Is that what this has meant this entire time? Some just cute nickname you gave me? That's why you and Gay Harris wouldn't tell me what it was, because it's just a super lame code name?
I love this theory. King and country, that's so clever. You thought that we affectionately called you the beacon of hope, and we didn't want to embarrass ourselves.
Well, you don't have to be rude. But thinking about it, I guess you're right. I mean, Harris would have 100% told me it was just a nickname. Or I guess for her it would have been a code name and security and protocol and all that jazz.
Unless her objective was to withhold information. She refused to keep secrets. Honesty is as much a sharper tool than lies, she would say over and over.
I've literally never, ever heard her say that, so no, she didn't.
If your name is Bors, she did. Bors would always try and say the best way to get to the objective would be to lie, cheat, and steal. Use their tactics. He was incessant.
Guess you had to be there.
Yeah.
But what does it mean? The Beacon of Hope. You and Gay Harris called me that a few times. And it's something I've been racking my brain for ages about. Especially now, between the spell being lifted and your new, shall we call it a laissez-faire attitude for the king. I thought, if anything, now you could finally tell me.
I will tell you. On 2 conditions.
That being?
Can I use the studio after you're done today? And to make my own broadcasts.
I guess so. It's never really stopped you before.
I know. You're right. Just got in my head about the optics of just coming in here on my own. I didn't want anyone to think we were getting a repeat of a few weeks ago.
As your friend and someone who is concerned for your well-being, can I ask to what end?
I would like to give Danielle a proper send-off.
Okay, so do you...
Something without you. Not to be rude, just to say my piece, since I couldn't make the funeral.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you need, man. Follow-up question. Why do you need your own broadcasts? Just so I have all the facts. I'm not trying to put anything on you.
It's stupid. It's just an idea I'm thinking about. Maybe do my own broadcasts. More chances to be heard or whatever. It's stupid. I probably won't even do it.
I think that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah? Okay. If it's okay with you and you know what's going on.
Yeah, no, makes sense to me. Well, with that all said, now you tell me. What does the Beacon of Hope actually mean?
There's a lot of technical thought around it all, but to put it simply, you are a magical anomaly. Yes, we thought of your broadcasts affectionately, but it was more than that. The Merlin couldn't figure out how those who didn't turn survived. You called it a rapture. If we were gods chosen before the event, I can't think of anyone else who would have been more chosen than the king himself. So why weren't we taken up with them? Merlin began trying broad theories of what could keep someone from turning. He wanted to reach out to any survivors that he could to get data. Sometimes magic and science are closer than you think.
And how is he supposed to do that?
By doing what you did. Making a radio or getting a radio and broadcasting out to anyone who could hear it.
So you're saying I somehow figured out to do the same thing as a trained knight would do?
Calm the ego down, buddy. You thought what any rational human would do.
Oh, Gabe, what a genius you've been. Oh, we'll give you the first Nobel Peace Prize once this is all over. Wow, Gabe, you're so smart and brave. Oh, goodness, we love you.
That's not what I'm saying. What I mean is the knights have training for sure, but it's not like that puts us in a higher echelon of thinking. We just think differently. We're no smarter than you.
Okay, well, that does make me feel a lot better.
It's more for me than you. I don't want you thinking I'm superior to you and then convincing me I actually am. What I guess it's your lucky power. Which brings us back to the beacon. We heard your broadcast, and the Merlin knew that you were something different. He wanted to bring you to the homeland for a magic-y CT scan. But the longer we planned and listened, Merlin not only saw you as an anomaly, but noticed you weaved us together. Think of it as bardic inspiration. Your voice was bringing us closer. Maybe it wasn't magical, maybe it's more psychological. The water cooler effect, if you will. We were all listening to you, and we found ourselves talking about what you said throughout the week. Starved for some form of entertainment, we bonded over you. I think the magical thing sounds more fun, and then we learned you had multiple other survivors. I can never remember their names. Those bullies. Then RQ. We had found so few people, and we were hunting high and low. You just wake up, and people are flocking to you. If we could get you broadcasting even louder, get your voice everywhere, almost incessantly, we could get survivors to flock to us, where we have the chance to actually help. Not 7,000 miles away, where we have no resources or contacts.
Don't know if I like being big brothered like that, you know?
Big Gabriel is watching you. We wouldn't play it 24/7, nor would we let you get creepy with it, Mr. I'm now a prophet.
Yeah.
Besides, we would make our own broadcasts, where shelter is, enemy movement, food.
I guess that makes sense. It just feels kind of absurd and very, very exposing. Kind of like I'm on this pedestal.
I guess so. I wouldn't think about it too much. We were told by the Merlin to be cautious. We had no idea if you were a magical entity or enlightened in some way. Maybe you had some powerful sway to start a rebellion. Well, I guess you kinda did help with my own, so, you know.
Huh. Thank you for telling me, and, with that, I think I'm gonna wrap all of this up. You still want the radio?
Yeah, that would mean a lot.
Well, survivors, I leave you in capable hands. And thanks for talking to me, Lancelot.
Anytime.
Survivor, it is time to pay your respects to Gaheris. She was intense, but she was one of us. I'll leave you to it.
Danielle Gaheris, Welwyn. You were my friend, my ally, and my confidant. You rest now. Before your trail leads you too far from me, listen to my words one last time. You are the most aggravating person to love. More firm than iron in your beliefs, but it's something I loved about you. I enjoyed our friendship. We are stronger for your voice, and to watch your stoicism fall when we were alone. I hate that it was me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we ended things the way we did, friend. But I was growing and changing in a direction you refused to follow. Not even allow yourself to watch my progress. You couldn't even say you saw me. Say that you could see I was in turmoil. Your code and ethics took my wandering heart as an attack. And that's the part that eats me up sometimes. You wouldn't even consider the possibility of change. Couldn't ask yourself if there were more sides to it than what we were given. No, the order we were given was truth. You were so narrow-sighted, you didn't just lose the forest for the trees, but you lost the tree for its bark. It was maddening, and something I leaned on. I'll miss that about you, Danny. The space you took up will never be filled by another. As First Knight Lancelot, First Chair, I relieve you of your duty. your seat will remain empty. Your absence will be a stain on our hearts. May we never forget you. May your journey afterward be guarded by all those you saved. Let these words echo the warmth and the love they were hewn from. Farewell, Danielle Gaharis Welwyn. Farewell.